Hello, my beautiful, beautiful soul family. So I have decided to do another podcast for you guys. And for those that choose to watch me on YouTube, I do notice that I get a few more views, a bit more interaction when I do it, like physically, like I'm doing now. So I actually will have an audio and a video recording for this. I don't look the best in the video, guys, so bear with me, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so for today's topic of today's podcast, my family, is the topic of failure and success and what that means. Because failure and success are these two things that go hand in hand, and you can't really truly have one without the other. Do you think? Do you believe that that's true? That's my question for you. And if you do believe that that's true, why do you feel that life makes us question our failures so harshly and judge ourselves so much over the things that we do that aren't necessarily right at the time, but maybe teaching us what is right over time so we cannot repeat the same mistakes, so we can move forward into a higher octave of ourselves and see that we are truly incredible beings, and we must learn from our errors of our ways to be able to truly move into the highest energy of ourselves. So if you are interested in that topic and you are here with me to expand on that and to work through the energy of success versus failure, then you are in the right place. I do ask that you follow me on all of my social media platforms. You can find me at Terrestrial Art on all social media sites that I am on, which will include Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube, of course, YouTube. So definitely check me out in those spaces if you enjoy my content and you want to support me. Also, if you are interested, I do have a Patreon that I have officially launched. It's about 2 weeks in now. It's never too late to join. All of the content that I share there is, it's a permanent fixture pretty much, so you can start at any point and start at point 0 and move upwards and get in line with the group, or either move at your own pace. So definitely worth the checkout, worth the joining of. I'm also going to be launching a specific money manifestation type group soon, and that's going to be on my Patreon, but it's going to kind of open up a portal for those that haven't quite joined me yet, that want to focus primarily on material gain, because I do notice that on my TikTok, that's like a huge thing that people are really into. So I'll give you what you want is pretty much what I'm doing. But okay, guys, failure and success. What defines failure and what defines success? That is the question. Do you feel that if you are giving something your all, if you are giving something, every part of you that you are able to give, and you are putting in so much energy, but you see the smallest return in favor of the actions that you have given, do you determine that to be failure, or do you determine that to be a success in its own form of creation? Because although it may not be performing in the way that you want it to, it is still performing because it is still out there, and you perform by giving that piece of your artistry to the world for the world to see. And what you create is timeless, whether it be something that you do as an act of kindness to another person, for another person, or whether it be something you are physically putting out in the form of matter. How do you determine what is failure and what is success? Or do you see your failures, supposed failures, as a success in their own creation? Because A, they can be teaching you something that you didn't know before, whether it be that the right path for you, or it can be teaching you something to be able to enhance that path that you're on, because it didn't quite click in the way that you had hoped it would. Or is it something that's perceived as just completely like you just give up, because no one's quite resonating with it, or the amount of people that you want aren't quite resonating with it. It's all a matter of thought, and it's all a matter of how we perceive things, just like everything in this world. This is literally the topic of my podcast on so many instances. We so often talk about how life is literally merely a perspective, and how our outlook, how our viewpoints determines whether something is what it is. And this holds no difference to that same value of worth. So every time that we are putting effort into something of a matter of a form in our life that we feel is valid to us, are we not succeeding because we have taken the initiative and the action to put that energy forward and to send it out into the universe? I feel that we are. I feel that all success can only be measured by the attempts of it. The attempts of it, no matter if those attempts were perceived as failure or if those attempts were perceived as successes. Because every time that we do something, it is a way to learn something, learn the expression of it, and learn how we can either bring it to a higher octave or bring it down a notch to where it is more relatable and translatable to the observer or the person or the energy in which it's meant to be fed to. So I challenge you to look at everything that you've done in life that's got you to where you are. I want you to look at these things, and I want you to analyze them, and I want you to see that if it wasn't for these things that you have encountered, if it wasn't for these beautiful instances of failure or success, that you wouldn't be exactly where you are right now. And not everyone lives the most easy life to where there's no challenges, there's no conflict of interest, there's no obstacle to overcome. And I actually feel that those that actually have these obstacles and those that have these challenges, those are the real OGs of life. Those are the real people who put themselves out there fearlessly, and they're willing to let themselves crash and burn if need be, because they know that every time that they do those things, they're going to rise like a phoenix. So I challenge you to take a risk today. Take a risk tomorrow. Take a risk whenever you feel like it. And I want you to put yourself out there to the world. Do what you need to do. Do what makes you feel happy. And even if no one gets it, at least you know that you got it enough to be able to put it out there. At least you'll know that you were capable and able to move into an energy that made you uncomfortable. Because what happens in comfortability? We become stagnant. But whenever we jump out of our level of comfortability and we actually try something that doesn't necessarily seem like the easiest, but it is something we actually want, then and only then will we succeed. Success is not measured by a win, by a fail, by how many people it reaches. Success is measured by doing something that matters to you and knowing that it mattered so much that it changed your point of view because it broadened your horizons. It broadened your sight to see your capability, your ability, and what needs to be worked on, and maybe what needs to be taken back a little bit. Ultimately, do I feel that there's a separation or a division between success and failure? I don't. So my question to you is, do you? Alright guys, so this is a short podcast. I thank you so much for being here and joining me in this space. Again, I ask that you follow me on all social media platforms, and you can find me at Terrestrial Aura on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify. And don't forget Instagram. Alright guys, until we meet again, I'm so grateful to have you here. Join me on Patreon.